All right, so today we're talking about applications. But before I even talk about applications, I want to do this. Remember these words here, right? Let's see, that's fine. Let's move it up a little bit. Hello? Can I not move you? Oh, there I go. I can't move it any further up. Okay, so we'll call this a day. Awesome. All right, so you guys remember these, right? The keywords when we translate. So it's going to say add, added to, sum. Those are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So those are coming back into play. So everything we learn in math comes back, okay? So a couple of things you need to know. One is this. The word perimeter. Perimeter means the distance around an object. An object. Object. Okay. So it's the distance around an object. So for example, if I had a triangle, let's do a triangle. Okay. So if I said that the sides are 10, 5, and 2, then the perimeter, P, is equal to 10 plus 2 plus 5. So the perimeter would equal to 17. Okay? So it's just the distance around the object. All right, what else do I need you to know? I need you to know that the sum of all angles of a triangle, let me just write that out. Not triangle, but triangle, equals, wow, I can't spell, equals 180 degrees, okay? So, there's some cool stuff right here, I tell you, okay? So, if I said that this was angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. So this is the way you would write it. Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Okay? So the sum of the three triangles. So you can use any triangles. If you measure all three angles, it would add up to 180 degrees. All right? So that's the other thing you need to know. Next, consecutive integers. Okay? Well, consecutive integers are like, I don't know, let's say 23, then 24, then 25, then 26, and so on, right? So if I don't know what the first number might be, like I start with 23. Why did I start with 23? I have no idea, okay? But let's say that I don't know what my first number is. If I don't know it, it's unknown, I would call it an X, right? Well, how did I get from 23 to 24? I add 1. So I take the previous number and add 1 to it, right? Now, all these numbers are going to be in reference to X, the very first number. So what did I do to 23 to get to 25? I would add 2, okay? Or you want to think of it, you can think of it as the previous one plus 1, which is still going to be X plus 2, okay? And then it will be x plus 3, and so on. So depending on how many you need, if you needed 2 consecutive, so let me write it down. So if you needed 2 consecutive integers, then you would use in your let statement, or in your statement, or in your problem, you're going to just use x and x plus 1. But let's say you wanted let's say 3 consecutive. Then you will use 3 of them, but it always starts at x. That's the first one. Second one, oops. Second one, and a third one, right? So depending on how many you need is how many you would write down, okay? The problem would tell you how many consecutive integers there are, okay? All right, so that is consecutive integers. Next would be the consecutive let's go with even integers, right? So if I did even numbers, let's start with, I don't know, 84. After 84 would be 86, then 88, then 90, right? And so on. So let's say I don't know what the first number is. So it's unknown. So it's unknown, x. Well, what did I do to 84 to get 86? I added 2. So x plus 2. What did I do with 84 to get to 88? What did I do to 84 to get to 90? And so on, okay? And it goes by 2s, right? So perfect, all right? Well, let's look at odd numbers. Let's look at odd numbers. Let me see. 45. What's after that? 47. 49. 51, right? So those are consecutive odd integers. So let's say that I don't know what the first one is. We call it x. This is where people make mistakes. What did I do to 45 to get to 47? What was that again? Oh, you also added 2, right? You were initially going to say, oh, it's odd, so I'm just going to add 1, add 3, add 5. Well, that doesn't work, okay? I would add 2 to 45 to get 47. Let's ask the same question again. What did I do to 45 to get 49? You added 4. What did you do to 45 to get to 51? You added 6. Oh, look at that. You mean the even and the odd is the same thing? Which makes sense. Think about it. Even numbers go by 2s. Odd numbers also go by 2s, don't they? All right. So I could actually change this here. No, I don't want to lasso. I just want to erase. Consecutive odd, not quad. Even and odd integers. Or I should say consecutive even or odd integers, right? So notice that they all both of them go by 2s. Okay, so the last thing I want to bring up to you is this. In a word problem that doesn't involve consecutive integers, consecutive odd integers, angles, perimeter, but it's just words, okay? If it's just words, then I want you to understand that whatever they're talking about in front of the period is your x, okay? So if they say, red is 7 more than blue, period. I know it's hard to look at blue and think blue when it's written in red. So this period right here tells me that blue is my X. And then I have to go back and reread that red. So I would say, so right off the bat, I would say, okay, so my blue is equal to X. And then go, okay, what's my red equal to then? Right? Red is equal to, so if this was X, so red equals 7 more than X. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And obviously we're going to do some problems here. So let's say, for example, it says here aircraft A. So aircraft A has 122 more seats than aircraft B, period. I wonder what your X is, okay? And then it continue on, it says, if their total number of seats is 686. Find the number of seats in each aircraft. Okay, so there it is. So automatically I go, okay, number one, I know what my X is. So I'm gonna go, okay, so out of all this, what's my X? So I find the period. So I know that this right here is my X. So aircraft B I'll call that just B, is equal to X. Aircraft A I'll call it A, has 122 more than X. So how do I write 122 more than X? X plus 122. Okay? So these are the number of seats. Aircraft B has X number of seats. Aircraft A has X plus 122 number of seats. If their total of seats, what does that mean? That means the amount of seats in aircraft A plus their seating in aircraft B is equal to 686. Wow, can't speak. Find the number of seats in each. So there we go. I wrote down, this is what we call let statement, okay? So essentially, I'm just taking essential information out of this and making it a word problem. So I say that these two added together would equal to 686. So, okay. So if I take the number of seats in aircraft B, which is X, added to the number of seats in aircraft A, which is that, then that must equal to 686. Okay? So I solve. 2x plus 122 is equal to 686. So let me see. So now I gotta get rid of the 122. So 686 minus 122, I get 2x is equal to 564. Then I gotta divide by 2. So x is equal to 282. So x, the value of x is 282. So if you come up here, if you notice, there is that value of x and that x right there. So I gotta replace the 282 with those x's. So in this case, aircraft B has 282 seats. Aircraft A has 282 plus 122. So what's 282 plus 122? Has total number of 404 seats. Okay, so you can check this. You can do 282 plus 404 and see if it gives you 686. Okay, so again, find what the period is, whatever's in front, that's your x. So when you reread this sentence here, just go, okay, aircraft A has, meaning aircraft A equals, and then say, how do I say 122 more than X? Don't say aircraft B, just say X. And then you go, okay, I can write that, all right? So that's how you would do that. And chances are they'll ask you for both answers, so you're gonna need both answers, all right? And let's just make that black, why not? All right, let's go another example here. Let's see. Okay, so it says the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers is 183. What are the integers? Okay, so again, I have 3 consecutive odd integers, right? Okay, so I'm gonna call them first, second, and third. Okay, so the first one, I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna call it x. If I knew what the first one was, what do I do to the x to get the next one? X plus 2. How about the third one? It'd be x plus 4. So I know how many to stop. I wouldn't write down x plus 6, x plus 8. I just want 3 of them, right? What do I do with these 3? It's that the sum of those 3 equals 183. So I take x plus the x plus 2 plus the x plus 4 and set it equal to 183. So these equations you've done before, you want to combine like terms, right? Because I have 1, 2, 3. So 3x plus 6, and that's equal to 183. Then I need to get rid of the 6. So 183 minus 6, so I get 3x is equal to 177. That's right, I got to divide by 3, so x is equal to 59. Okay, so I'm not done, all right? So our whole thing is that we want to just say, oh, x is equal to, so we're done. But you need to look at what they're asking for. They're asking for all 3 integers, okay? So I got x is equal to 59. So that means my first integer is 59. That means my next one is 61, and the following would be 63. And if you don't believe it, add those three numbers and see if it gives you 183 or not, okay? So my x plus 2 would be the 59 plus 2, and then '59 plus 4, which would give you 63. So that, ladies and gentlemen, would be my answer. Okay? So you'll always have to answer the question. That is the bottom line. Okay? Well, I'm going to leave you with that because even with the triangle questions, it's going to be put like this as well. It's going to refer to, and I always call this referring to, that one of the angles is going to be x, and then it's going to refer back to that angle. All right? Or it's going to tell you about the three, however many consecutive whatever integers. Okay? So if it doesn't say even or odd, then you're talking about just plain old consecutive integers. All right? If you have any questions on this homework, please let me know.